Hi, my name is Paul Tilstone from Festive Road, and today I'm in conversation with Ben Park from Parexel. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for having me today to talk about the return to travel.
That's my pleasure. Where are you today?
I'm based now at my home office in lovely Germany, Berlin.
We absolutely love Berlin in my family, so we look forward to going back there real soon. So we asked you to think about the managed travel model when you're considering your preparations for a return to travel and to choose one or two of the components. What was it that you chose?
Yeah, this time I would like to talk about safety and engagement. Safety because it's about the people, and engagement because it's about the service towards travelers and suppliers.
Of course, when you say this time, it's because we also interviewed at the Business Travel Show back in February, right? So, I'm just remembering that. Things have changed considerably since then. And on that point, where are you in that process of returning to travel?
For us, we are in a phase where we had some travelers who continued to travel during this phase. Basically, they never stopped. Secondly, I would say that usually when you think about return to travel, I would always say, look at the foundation, like you've got it in your model, which you promote. And I think that the travel policy is the most essential for looking at return to travel. Usually, we have been in the very fortunate situation that we just really in March, just before all this happened, released our new travel and expense policy, which put the traveler even more into the center, empowered the traveler to make own decision, also make them accountable. But with this wriggle room, the traveler had already the choice to make future travel decisions based on economics, productivity, but as well based on safety decisions. So that's why for us, our foundation was already there and we were well prepared.
Wow, it's almost like you saw it coming and your new policy was already ready for it, which is fantastic. But of course you didn't. But let's just go back to safety and engagement. Let's start with safety first. Where are you with safety? What's your approach then when it comes to that return to travel and the safety of your travelers?
Yeah, safety to us means minimizing the risk towards our employees, but as well to all other travelers, and more important for us in our industry with clinical trials, safety towards the patients which we visit, and towards the hospitals and nurses and doctors. So safety is the highest value at the moment, and minimizing risk exposure. And that's why we are following an approach in three phases, where we are saying the first phase of our return to travel was like many other companies, like almost don't travel. Only the most essential travel, which absolutely needs to happen. And it required a C-level approach. And we had like an approved traveler list where you need to be on in order to be allowed to go on a trip. The second phase, and this is what we are seeing now already, we're entering the second phase in some countries. And again, I should have mentioned that these three phases are not globally happening at the same time. It's so different by region, by country, and even in large countries within the states. So the second phase, where some countries and states are entering this now, is where we're saying, okay, the government is allowing us by government recommendation to travel. Our hospital sites, so the clients, allow us to visit them, to do our work on their end, and the traveler feels safe. And this is the most important thing for us. Our traveler is at the center of everything. And the third phase, which will happen at the end, is basically what you look for is the new normal, potentially. And this is where we say, okay, the government procedures about mitigating risk, wearing face masks, this is all the cleaning, this is all helping to not increase any infection numbers again. So the everything, even without the vaccine being available, it's helping to control the situation when traveling. And when this is in place, still our hospital sites allow us to visit them, then we'll say, okay, travel is safe in this new normal if everybody follows the guideline restrictions and everything.
Let's move on to engagement. Tell us a little bit about how you've approached engagement.
Yeah, so engagement is really, really important for us because the safety is just a communication from us to travelers, but the engagement is the dialogue, the communication. And that's why what we are doing now is we're sending out a survey to all travelers, all employees, and saying, like, tell us how you feel. Where do you feel safe? Where not? What is it where you not feel safe? We want to understand. And with this, we want to really see, okay, where do we need to maybe adapt the policy? Where do we need to re-engage with communication? And as well, very important, if we got all this important data sets, we want to go out to our strategic suppliers and let them know. This is where our travelers don't feel safe. This is where they've got questions about process, about your commitment. And then we can bring this back to the travelers. So it's the engagement to the travelers and then to the important suppliers and stakeholders and back to the employees. So it's like a triangle of communication.
I love that, and it's a really important feedback loop when we're all in the sort of phase of learning all the time about what needs to be provided to the traveller and to the corporation to get everybody back travelling.
Now, one point I really want to make is that in the industry, travel industry, I have never seen a time where all suppliers and buyers are so united and so laser focused on getting this right. I haven't met anybody who's like, oh, but we need to make the commercials work. Everybody's like safety first, comfort, trust level first, and getting it right. And so many of our strategic suppliers call us and say, what do we need to do in addition? What is missing? What can we do? What do you need? So I really want to say this is the best I've seen from the travel industry so far in terms of a united approach to get us back to a return to normal.
Great.
Sorry.
Having gone through the process that you've gone through so far, what lessons do you have for travel managers out there that are beginning to prepare for that return to travel?
Yeah, a very good question. And I think there are a lot of articles, documents, toolboxes out there which help travelers to look at the checklist, the items they need to consider for their return to travel. And what I mean with their return to travel is there's no one size fits all. Every company situation is different. They have different risk levels on where they travel and are based in different countries. So unfortunately, everybody needs to find their own return to normal to travel. That's the advice. So don't feel bad if you adapt stuff, but create your own way, because that's the correct way, in my view. As an advocate and little pioneer on virtual payments, I also think this is the right time to push for the digitalization in the company and especially virtual payments. And at the moment, everybody understands, like, if you say don't use cash as much as you can, try to avoid it. Don't use chip and pin. Try to use the cashless stuff. Try to do things with near field communication. Use the online check-in and all this. So for me, the whole digitalization can now be accelerated, and every traveler understands this.
I love the positivity of that, because it's using the present situation to drive forward much quicker some of the pathways that we'd already started in travel. So Ben, thank you ever so much for joining us today to give us the insights into your travel program.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
No problem. So just a reminder to people, they can access the Permissible Travel Framework from festive-road.com. We'll have more videos and interviews with travel buyers over the next coming weeks. And I want to thank you for watching. Thank you.